Hello, my name is Wyvan, the Guildmaster of Skra, and welcome to our strategy for Mimiron encounter. Please notice that this was recorded in Sunwell server on Angrathar realm, which also means that all encounters are buffed. I'll be talking about the buffs in just a second. For this encounter we like to use the standard 2 tank 5 healer setup. Mimiron is probably one of the most complex fights in Ulduar. This is a 4-phase encounter, and notice that all phases are burning mana, especially on healers, but between each phase on the transition we have plenty of time to regen. In phase 1, Mimiron will put landmines around him, and soon as he does that, every single melee should start looking out for an escape route. The tank will receive a really nasty debuff called Plasma Blast. This is a really high damage debuff that the healer should immediately focus on healing the tank. Additionally, the off tank should taunt off the boss, and the main tank should even consider using a defensive cooldown if needed. Mimiron will also cast Shock Blast. Every time he does that, every single one of the melees should run out, and this doesn't affect the range groups unless they are too close to the boss. Remember that when you are running away, you still need to avoid the landmines. The last ability in phase 1 is Napalm Shell. This is a flame that Mimiron sends to a player, damaging them and everyone within 5 yards. This is also a very heal intensive. For phase 2, we normally get around 2/3 of the room occupied by the range groups to avoid as much damage as we can. The boss will be sending missiles that are not avoidable, so the more spread we are, the better. Overall, this is the hardest heal intensive phase. Heatwave is another AoE damaging ability that the boss will cast, and it requires a lot of healing as well. Notice that fire resist aura should be active at all times. Mimiron will throw rockets to players, one-shotting them if they don't move out. You can predict this by watching a red circle under you, and you should move out immediately as you seen it. Remember that when moving out, move out generously, since the range might be a bit bigger than what it looks like. Finally, Mimiron will cast Laser Barrage. Once the barrage is announced, everyone should come closer to the boss and stay at all time behind Mimiron. Notice that if you got bad luck and you are in front of the boss, just pick a side and run, don't go back and forth, because you'll die if you do that. But the closer you are to the boss, the best surviving chances you're having of running out of the laser barrage in time. Again, once this phase has ended, we get hymns, mana tides, all that stuff to regen mana. For phase 3, we put our 2 highest threat range DPS, and in this case is the Warlocks, tanking the head of the boss, with the raid away from it. Our off tank is standing under the head, so we can soak all the bomb bots once they hit the floor, and our range DPS are bursting the head at all time. Our melee DPS are cleaning adds with the main tank, and once the assault bots die, we assign one of the melee to pick up the item from the assault bots, go under the head, probably timed so he doesn't get one shot by the bomb bot, and use the item. Notice that in order to use the item you don't need to target the head. This will bring the head down, and it will increase the damage taken on the head. At this point, no matter how many adds are there, we just have everyone focus the head. Once the head is done, we clear the adds and prepare ourselves to phase 4. Phase 4 is by far the most chaotic phase of all, since the Phase 4 is based on all 3 phases at the same time. Notice that the ranged DPS should focus the head and chest, and the melee should focus the bottom and chest as well. All these 3 parts of the boss need to die at the same time, otherwise the boss will repair. On Phase 4, Mimiron will no longer cast Plasma Blast and Calm Shells from Phase 1. He will also not cast any more Heat Wave from Phase 2, and he will no longer summon adds from Phase 3. For Sunwell buffs, Assault bots have increased HP and deal more damage, Proximity Mine deals 25k fire damage instead of 15k, Self-Repair is 10 seconds instead of 15 seconds, Rocket Flight to the player is faster, and the Berserk timer is 8 minutes instead of 10 minutes. Since the Berserk time is 8 minutes now, if the boss repairs to full, it's most likely a wipe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.